Welcome to tutorial 1 of the personal cash book training. I trust that you have watched the presentation of the cash book that gives you a broad overview of the product, and now we will go into some detail of how the chart of accounts is edited. I've opened up the file in worksheet A of the product, which is where the cash books are housed, just to start off with showing you the effect of changing or editing the chart of accounts. I've left the 2 bank statements that we've already imported in the presentation of the product, and I'm going to put the cursor where the 3rd bank statement is listed so that we can see that currently it's named 3 bank account. So if we go into the COA and we look for 3 bank accounts, COA is the chart of accounts, and we change this to cash. When we go to worksheet A now, it's going to have changed that 3 bank account to name it cash. And if we go to the next bank account, which is called 4 bank account, and we go and look for it in the COA, and there's 4 bank account, and we call it fuel card with bank goal, account number 5689, and the next one, let's go and show you now. There it's changed 4 bank account to fuel card, and so you will go on. You can name the next one to your bond account, which is, let's say, with Bank Tootsie, account number, and it will then edit it accordingly in the cash book worksheet. So all the accounts in the COA worksheet, as you edit them to suit your personal lifestyle, it will update the necessary worksheets in the cash book. For example, you're not a smoker, so you don't need to account for cigarettes, and you don't have kids, so you don't need to account for clothes and shoes for kids. So what I suggest you do is that you print out the chart of accounts as it is now, but remember you will have the original file because hopefully you've saved one of these files as an original and you're working in a file that you've saved to work in. And you then print the chart of accounts as it comes standard, just so that you've got all the ideas of what all you can account for, and then go and delete the whole chart of accounts for expenses, and go and put the list of your expenses in alphabetical order in this COA worksheet. Because as you've deleted all of them in here now, you'll see that your summary worksheet would have also deleted them. Okay, so as you then update them in the COA worksheet, let's just put in bank charges as being the first in your alphabetical list of your expenses. It then will again update the bank charges in the summary worksheet. And if we go to the cash books and we drop down in the account code and description, you'll see there'll be a whole lot of zeros because you've now deleted that COA worksheet. And as you then populate the COA worksheet to suit your personal lifestyle, all of those descriptions will then update throughout the product. And it's really as simple as that. If you change this, you don't get a salary, but you get an allowance. It will then update in all the relevant worksheets to allowance from salary income. And it will update in your summary as allowance from salary income. And you can then edit one of the bank accounts as allowance. Perhaps this one you'd like to then call your allowance cash book. So you will then enter on the cash book the amount of cash that you received. If it didn't go into a bank account, but it came into your hand, you will then go and enter that amount. You received your allowance on the 1st of the month. Let's just use February as an example. And you received your allowance, 1,000 Rand. And it will be a positive. Money coming in is a positive. And then as you spend that money and you keep all your slips and you go and account for what you spent it on, minus 100 for food or whatever it is that you're then going to select in line with however you've edited your chart of accounts. Okay, so that's the effect of editing chart of accounts, and you can edit all of this. You don't get medical aid refunds, but you do receive some other type of income. You can then edit that to whatever type of income you receive, and it will update the worksheets throughout the personal cash book file. I'm going to just undo all of this to get us back to the original chart of accounts. There we go. But what I've done with you now is to show you that the COA worksheet is what drives the entire cash book file. The cash books, as indicated here in this column D, cash books, don't change that to bank charges or to allowance. It must remain specific cash books that you want represented in here, either bank accounts or cash, an allowance, or whatever the case may be. Fixed assets, if you don't purchase these and you don't wish to account for them, you can leave them in there and ignore them and just never use them. And again, if this chart of accounts doesn't suit your lifestyle at all and you have only 4 expenses that you want to account for, or you have more expenses than what this chart of account allows you to edit, then pop me an email and I'll help edit the product with you. When you do select the various bank accounts that you want the cash books to represent, just bear in mind that this is the number of lines that each cash book can cater for. So this cash book that caters for 99 transactions per month, you'll edit that one for that bank account that you use the most. And for this one, you'll edit it to the bank account that you use the second most and the third most, and so on. To personalize the cash book for yourself, you will also edit your name or enter your name and the month or the year that you're doing the cash books for in the COA worksheet. And as you edit the name in this worksheet, it will then update in your cash book that this is your cash book. And when you put the month and the year in, we will be using February 2011 as an example, it will also then update in the rest of the worksheets applicable. So all the editing is done in the COA worksheet. Okay, lovies, that's how you edit your chart of accounts for the product to suit you throughout all the worksheets. I will speak to you again in tutorial 2 of the personal cash book training.